Harrysson, who made the last 16 of the World Championship, somewhat surprisingly to some, not to others. But he's here via the Nordic and Baltic qualifying route.
First leg, Andreas to throw first. Game on.
This one about to get underway, second game of the afternoon, and it's a very warm Polish welcome in a very chilly Krakow to Niall McCorn.
Dzień dobry, Nico. I think that's what you're supposed to say.
140.
Good afternoon, everyone. And as you say, Andreas Harrysson, last 16 of the World Championships, was 2-1 up in sets against Johnny Clayton, ended up losing it 4-2. Of course, the Ferret victorious in the Premier League less than 24 hours ago. And you said we'll be seeing a lot of Willie O'Connor. We're not going to be seeing as much of Andreas Harrysson as perhaps many of us would have liked, because at EUQ School finished 9th in the standings, just outside the top 8. By virtue of 6 legs, he missed out on a tour card, so he was pretty much a game away. But we all know the standards that the Swede can produce. He's shown us in multiple disciplines, in different formats, that he is a real handful.
Goes O'Connor.
139.
Making the final of a Pro Tour event last year and backing it up with the semi-finals done him a lot of good for the start of the season. Harrisson's on double 10 to take the first leg.
Yeah, so the first leg.
He's dangerous.
Second leg, William throw first.
And yes, he did miss out at EUQ School by 6 legs. Poor Derek Coulson lost out by 1. Imagine how that felt. 1 more leg and you'd be on the tour. However, Harrysson is the kind of player who will just take it on the chin, move on and say, I'll just make these events some other way.
140.
Well, he made it to this, as you said before, via the Nordic and Baltic qualifier.
140.
When it comes to Dirty Harrisson's levels, the lowest average he produced in those qualifiers was a flat 90. It was also a 94, a 102, a 95. The levels are there for Andreas Harrysson. So missing out on that tour card
59.
probably feels the equivalent of standing outside in -10, because that's what it is here in Krakow today.
2 years ago, he was playing at the Belgian Darts Open in Wiesa, where we are going in a couple of events' time.
26.
And he gave Gary Anderson the fright of his life. He played 2 games in Wiesa that were memorable. One was a win, one was a loss. But I'll never forget Gary's face after that match, as if to say, I didn't realise he was that good. Oh, he's that good. And if Willie O'Connor's slightly off his game, he could be going home early as well.
145.
Well, Harrysson will be back for a 2-dart chance if O'Connor can't pierce this 145, which he can't. So Harrysson
105.
looking at a 2-tip lead here in game number 2 of the Poland Darts Open. Fancy tops, probably the right call with Willie O'Connor sat on the same target.
Absolutely, a different attack this time on the ton checkout, because the lie was different. Straight down the barrel. Funnily enough, that's the kind of dart that Menzies could not find in the first game of the tournament, and Willie O'Connor can. Here we go again.
140.
How was that not landed in the 60? I don't know about you, Niall, but I'm starting to understand that these European events, places like Belgium, Premier Leagues like Antwerp, Krakow, of course, are starting to attract more people from outside that country. That's a great thing.
108.
And so is that. And that's why people are flocking from Europe over to these events. You mentioned we saw Cameron Menzies batter that 60 bed in the first game. First maximum of this one. Well, slightly wayward on the ball in the second, but the third was perfect.
I already know that O'Connor's going to have to be on his game here, because he's got Harrysson on a good day.
That's the thing with Andreas
96.
Harrysson. I think the
Andreas
sliding
Harrysson,
scale
52.
between... What on earth is that, by the way?
That was slightly terrifying. And this is for O'Connor.
And to the third leg, Andreas Harrysson. Fourth leg, William to throw
Eats
first.
himself
Game.
back into the lead, Andreas Harrysson. But when you look at the numbers that Harrysson produces, you can see it there. 115.5 at the moment. His top end, I dare say, might even be a little bit higher than that if we're talking about scoring averages. But also, sometimes he can just throw in a rogue 77 average and get wiped away. And I think that that's what Andreas Harrysson probably needs to try and tighten up. The dispersion between worst performance
96.
and top level is quite wide at the moment. If he can tighten that up, because as you say, when he's on it, he is so hard to stop.
You don't mind having a range of 30 points between top and bottom, but on the provision of that top average being massive. The biggest I've seen him average anywhere is 117 in best of 7 legs. That is very impressive. That's what Gerwin Price did in Hildesheim last week against Michael van Gerwen, beating him 6-0. But you're right, that range is a bit too wide. It's about 40 points, maybe a little bit more.
Well, these two have played each other just the once.
135.
That was in Wigan in October in one of the Players' Championship events. It went the way of William O'Connor. Won it 6-2.
90. William, you require 70.
He might still win this 6-2 if everything goes his way from here on out. Starting with this 55.
Game to the fourth leg, William O'Connor. Fifth leg, Andreas to throw first. Game.
It is 2-2. And one thing is definitely on the menu for the next few months for Willie O'Connor. It is a possible World Match Play debut. It is miraculous to think that he's made it to World Championships. He's played in numerous World Cups. He's played at the Grand Prix because there was a time where they had Irish qualifiers for the City West in Dublin. But he's never played at the Winter Gardens in the summer. And you think about some of the things he's done in his career. You can put it down to bad timing, maybe.
140.
Maybe winning at the wrong time for a certain race. But right now, he's in a very strong position to make a match play debut. He will expect to be there.
100.
But that invitation is not going to be given to him. There are plenty of people standing in his way over the next 4 months.
Yeah, sometimes you wonder whether it is just a
130.
combination of bad timing and bad luck for Willie O'Connor. One of the European Tour events last season in Switzerland is Harrysson looking to fill it up again, and he does.
William 130.
He ended up putting his back out before his final game. Had to find an emergency physio.
97.
Couldn't break glass.
Andreas, you
The emergency
require 40.
bullseye.
Double 10.
30.
And he
William,
doesn't.
You require 33.
What a reprieve for O'Connor.
Games on the fifth leg.
Big fat
William
one
O'Connor.
for a big fat double
Sixth
16.
leg, William to throw first.
Well, not quite a big fat lead. A slender, skinny one, but it will do for the Magpie.
Just to put it into some sort of perspective for O'Connor as well. There are plenty of darts fans around Europe and the world who revere players like Martin Schindler, Ross Smith,
60.
Christoph Ratajski, the godfather of this country when it comes to darts. William O'Connor's Pro Tour ranking's better than all of them. So we should not take for granted the form that he's in ranking-wise. He made the last 16 of the first Players' Championship of the season, but since then it's been a bit skinny. He's got to start getting back on the winning train, otherwise his confidence might take a bit of a hit.
100.
7 different countries here playing this afternoon only. That's not including tonight, which does have that incredible match between Ratajski and Mansell.
93.
It's all about Christoph, that one. No offence to Mickey Mansell, but it's like a homecoming for Ratajski.
114.
Well, Harrysson looks at home in and around that treble 20. He's found it consistently, ruthlessly, but it is O'Connor who has that narrow lead.
38.
First down to finish as well, the Irishman.
Curiously, Harrison in the past has left the 150 after 6 and gone for 3 bullseyes on 150. And if Harrison gets the 60 on this 141, he'll go treble 15, double 18. That's his preferred route.
Well, no shot at double 18 this time. Narrowly missed the 45 to set it up. 93 for Willie O'Connor. This is his target. The wince on his face tells you what you need to know.
I'm surprised he didn't go for double 19 there.
Andreas require 56.
Some players here today already have played the safe card.
$36.
That's not safe.
William require 50.
Willie gets another chance, and now he could stretch his lead to 2. He's going to go back to tops. And that's why. 2-leg lead, and 2 more legs would get him a game against Josh Rock, who is not enjoying the Premier League at this point in time just yet. He did enjoy the European Tour a bit more last year, making consecutive finals.
125.
That's what we saw from Stephen Bunting in 2025. His Premier League did not start well, but the European Tour served
100.
as a little bit of restitution.
He won 6 titles last year, Stephen Bunting. Admittedly, not all of them ranking titles. But winning is winning in some people's eyes. And this man, Willie O'Connor, he's called the Magpie for a reason. It's because he likes shiny things, trophies.
100.
And as you say, he did reach the final of a Players' Championship event towards the end of last season. Don't get a trophy for those, of course. But it does get you on the stage at Blackpool if you can keep things up, which is, as you mentioned, something he's not yet been able to do. So, steps in the right direction
45.
for a man who has so much experience.
If he does make Blackpool in the summer, it will be fascinating to do the stat crunching on
97.
how many events he's played in before making his debut there. He may even be the most experienced person to make a debut. But that's if he gets there.
93.
Starting to look a little bit forlorn here.
19.
Harrison is on the hunt, especially when O'Connor's not on a finish.
Looking at tops.
79.
Well, does have the insurance of another visit, but Willie O'Connor's going to apply some serious pressure.
123. Andreas require 40.
Which Harrison deals with. Picks off a leg to go within 1.
World Cup this year is going to be fascinating, isn't it? Not that I'm trying to get ahead of myself.
140.
O'Connor will be in his team. Team Sweden might be strong. Could be Harrison and De Graaf. And they're both playing this afternoon. De Graaf's got Andrew Gilding in game number 6. That was, of course, the scene of one of Willie O'Connor's best tournaments, with Steve Lennon making the final. They were exceptional. But this is the first time the Poland Darts Open has been held. People have won in Poland in the PDC the last 3 years. And Gerwin Price and Littler have won the title. But you always want to be the first person to win a new tournament.
140.
Someone will have that honour in a couple of days. Could even be O'Connor, who's made 2 finals on the European Tour in his career. Lost to Cullen in Hungary. Lost to Van Gerwen in Hamburg when we used to go there.
140.
Well, all he needs to think about is just closing this match out against Andreas Harrysson. Forget finals for now. Get the first one out of the way.
100. William require 53.
Willie O'Connor strikes me as someone who doesn't particularly care about who he's drawn against.
13.
But when he saw Andreas Harrisson's name
76.
planted next to his, he would have expected a tough test, and he's certainly in one.
36.
Harrysson misses
William require 40.
again, and O'Connor to move within one.
That is not a good dart. This one's got to be a good one.
30.
You don't need us to tell you how he feels. He's showing you with the shaking of the head.
Andreas Harrysson
Gash on the 8th leg.
missed darts for 3-3
Ninth leg.
and was punished by O'Connor. This time, he's the one dishing out the punishment himself, as the match is now level.
At this point of the first game, Niall, we saw the same reaction from Cameron Menzies. He was letting legs slip by, but he was able to get over the line anyway. So O'Connor's got to show the same qualities. And he would love that game with Rock tomorrow. This place is going to be full. It will be boisterous. And you want to be part of it. You do not want to be on a plane going home back to Ireland. You want to be here in Krakow.
You highlighted the World Cup a few minutes ago, and Willie O'Connor, of course, part of the Republic of Ireland team that faced off in the World Cup last summer against Josh Rock's Northern Ireland in what was a really entertaining game.
140.
Playing darts at this level is a bit of a handful. And Willie gets a box full. He's timed that rather well. This would be better timing though from Andreas. I think even Willie was holding his breath right there, saying, please give me a shot, Mr. Harrysson. Are you feeling lucky, Willie? Well, are you? That's not lucky. That is exceptional. Maybe he's being heckled a little bit by some of the polls. But here, the final say.
180, followed by an 86 outshot, finished on 7-7 from Willie O'Connor. That is high-class stuff. And he now has the darts thrown out to close the match.
I don't know whether you know this, Niall, but it's a very hot topic of conversation between some of the Irish players from the northern part of the island and the Republic. Not that I'm their spokesperson, but they have mentioned it to a lot of us in the past. They won a European Tour event in Ireland. Can you imagine the crowd over there?
140.
Well, we do have a modest smattering of polls in the expo here this afternoon for this first session
45.
of the first European Tour event of the season. And they were fully behind Zombie, weren't they, when Willie O'Connor was walking on just a few minutes ago. Imagine the noise.
58.
Willie was walking on in Dublin or Cork or Limerick. That's where he's from.
I think more countries are starting to put their hand up. We've got Slovakia later in the year. Bratislava will be brilliant. And now Poland, we're just continuing with the help of PDC Europe, the PDC, and all of the associated partners to take this incredible sport to the people that want to see it. What O'Connor wants to see is this game done 6-4 It might just be back to Sweden for Harrysson.
Tops for the match. Willie O'Connor finishes it off with a ton plus. 1-1-1 taken care of, and Andreas Harrysson taken care of as well. There was a flurry of 180s from the Swede, who of course reached the last 16 of the World Championship. Doesn't have a tour card, but will be continually attempting to qualify for these European Tour events. A puff of the cheeks from Willie O'Connor. Had to dig deep in his first match. Relief on his face.